I would like to ask you all that advice would you offer to students or the early career professionals considering a career in GIS, particularly in the industry or the international organization? Hope it will gonna help the uh, your valuable insight for the students at the early career. You know,
Technical expertise can be learnt, but the thing that makes you stand out is how you have applied your creativity and innovative thinking and critical thinking to problems. So I find I'm less bothered by, oh, I can do these amazing things and got 10 years of GIS, whatever. So have a whole bunch of other people. What I want to see is your passion for it, your passion for solving problems, and how you think outside the box. So if you just show typical your average typical, I just did this spatial analysis that's available to everyone. It was 3 buttons. I don't care if you've done it 100 times. What I want to see is, what is that one time where you did it differently? What made you do that? Why did you do it? What's the data you used? What's that piece of, how did you fix this problem that other people would have missed? What have you seen that I would have missed? I don't need you to be a version of me 10 years ago. I need you to be the person who, in 2, 3 years from now, I'll go, that's someone who's better than me because they've applied the past 10 years of knowledge really quickly, and done some fantastic things that I was unable to do. So I would say focus on, and I'm not saying to ignore the technical, you need to know the basics to be able to actually do some of this stuff, but it's what makes you different. How have you applied something completely new? And you know what, when you're in your early career, that's the best time to try some of the most innovative, newer things that no one's quite sure about. Take risks, look at the different, set yourself apart from everyone else, which can be hard and it sounds very daunting, but you know what, you're probably more likely to do it before you've been told how to do a certain thing in a certain way, which happens over time in industries. The best thing about early careers and students who come in is they bring completely fresh thinking, and they ask, why have you been doing it this way? Why can't it be done another way? And then go and do it.
One thing coming to my mind is a lot of us have background in planning, in geospatial analysis, and for some sort of engineering, I assume. I think when we want to stand, if you want to stand out when trying to pursue GIS career, really kind of look at the essence of the value GIS provide, and as many of us have touched on, as a communication tool. And as a GIS expert, I think the team are expecting you to not only cracking the problems and giving like an innovative solution, but also really articulating it well and communicating the ideas clearly. And I think that's a great advantage of a lot of us having, trainings in GIS, is interpreting data, is understanding the challenge. What is the critical needs that your client wants, or the stakeholders want to listen to. So really kind of think, I think that's a little bit more on the soft side, I would say, like comes to skills, but I think that's really comes out well is if you can decipher a problem and boils it down to some essential pieces and then translate it into a spatial problem solving, workflow, that would really gain the trust and have everyone have the people will think from you not only like a GIS technician to deliver and create some sort of solutions, but really a one-stop, I would say always say like a one-stop solution for all. So not saying you try to do that all, but really being an effective communicator, active listening the needs, and translating problems into a solvable GIS solution.
Nissa really summed up what I would say is just having a really strong passion for just spatial analysis in general is really important, and those different ways of thinking matter. I think it's a great point to say that industry has a tendency to push protocol into your brain and get you focused on one way to fix something. But thinking outside the box is ideal. And if you're kind of just getting into things, that your perspective is probably more creative and probably more unique than you think it is. I know when I was starting out, all I thought when I would get on a project is, I did it the wrong way because somebody who's been doing this for 100 years did it a different way and had a better output. But now that I've had a little bit of time in the industry and I'm looking at younger folks coming in and bringing their fresh ideas, sometimes I'm looking at what they're doing and going, geez, why didn't I think of that? So don't sell yourself short, especially if you're new into stuff. You probably have a lot more valuable input and opinion than you realize. Don't let the fact that you're green make everybody else intimidating. You definitely are bringing a fresh perspective that some of us people who've been here for a while need. I would say also for advice getting involved, definitely start familiarizing yourself with the technical aspects of GIS so that when you get a new project, you have as much, or not as much, as many tools at your brain's disposal as possible so that you have, more options for those creative solutions. But also don't freak out if all you understand how to do is clip a polygon. You'll get there, you'll figure it out. But taking trainings and getting involved and start getting your hands in GIS as soon as possible, I think is really valuable so that you can start getting exposure to different types of problems and start creatively thinking. Just to bring it back to that, I really couldn't have summarized that better than Nissa did. So I don't have much to add. I think everybody's really, really summarized everything really well.
I'm not sure about the backgrounds of the audiences here. If anything like me, my first advice is don't stress if your current field is not, if it does not perfectly align with the career that you want to pursue. The great thing about GIS is it's very versatile. If you have the passion and knowledge for it, you'll find a way. And the next thing is, it's not about learning a tool in depth. It's more about knowing that a tool exists to solve a problem. I mean, you can learn a lot of tools following step by step. There are a lot of resources online available. I think the best way you learn is taking something on by yourself. Take a project, take an assignment. Even if you don't know how to solve it, if you have the primary knowledge, then go ahead and take it. That's how I learned most of the GIS tools that I learned so far.